Evening, everybody. Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Ciao. So I'm not in Italy, actually. It may look like it, but I'm actually in my own kitchen, sitting at my own dining table with my friend Lisa Anderson.
I came to visit.
Lisa came to visit, yes.
Or actually, I'm almost on my way out of town.
You are. That's so sad.
I know. But it's, actually, can I say I'm ready to go home. I miss my boys.
Aw, man. Okay, fine. Fine, go home.
Sorry.
So Lisa is, as you probably know, one of my good friends for many, many years. We've known each other more than 20 years.
I think more than 20 years.
More than 20 years. Long time. And she is also one of our most beloved guides. And I will tell you, people that travel with her get off of her tours and decide that they don't want to travel with me anymore.
No.
They like her better than me. Oh, you are the most likable person I've ever met. I think that's true.
I have a whip, though.
Mm.
You've never seen me bring out my whip.
No, I haven't, actually. All right. So Lisa and I were just discussing a few things that we thought it would be fun to share with you guys. So first of all, what we wanted to make sure everybody knew is that there's still space to travel with us, but not for long, right?
We are, if we're talking Piemonte,
yeah,
we're going to be closing up the registration for that, I think, coming up in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a wonderful, this is our Spring Piemonte tour, which is going just after Easter in the middle of April, essentially.
Yep.
And I think there are going to be 5 or 6 people on it right now. We'd love to have a couple more. It would be wonderful. But this is the beauty of having a small group tour, is that we can still run even though there are just a very few people, and it makes it a really nice, intimate experience.
It does. So Lisa lives in Piedmont, which is in northwestern Italy. It's near Torino.
Exactly, and that tour starts in Torino.
Yeah.
We spent 3 nights in Torino, hitting the city center and seeing what makes Torino so special, exploring the cars, the old ice chambers, the markets, the amazing museums, and the Savoia family, which, you know, those were the first kings of Italy, but it's one of the longest continuous dynasties in Italy. Yes, the Savoia are still alive. They're not ruling us anymore, thank God. But it's a really amazing history, really fun to see. And Torino is actually one of the most important cities for books as well. You know, that the people in Torino, the Piemontese, read more than the rest of Italy. And there are so many bookstores.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact for the day. And then from Torino, after the 3 nights there, we actually go and stay in the same hotel for a whole week near where I live in Cuneo, and just explore the wine region, the mountains, the city, and learn how to make chocolates, go to markets, eat really good food, get a little history. And do you know that the largest elliptical dome in the world is also near Cuneo, in Mondovì?
Oh, yeah. That's so cool.
So architecture, it's really, really an interesting tour. It's been a great success, and I would love to have a couple people on board, a couple more people on board, I should say.
So the reason that Lisa is here today is that we're just working. We're working on logistics. We're making hotel reservations. We're trying to get things. We're brainstorming ideas for 2024. So we just wanted to let you know a little bit of what we're talking about, because if you're interested in taking a tour with us, this applies to you. So she wants more people on her Piedmont tour. And also I wanted to let you guys know that my specialty, which is Sicily and Rome, those I'm going to be doing in March. And I also need to confirm with the hotels there. So if you were thinking about going on the Rome tour or the Sicily tour in the spring, I will definitely be guiding all 3 of those.
And don't forget Puglia.
And Puglia,
which is right after the Piemonte tour.
Yeah, so it's really an Italy year this year. 2023 is an Italy year for me, and always for you.
But I think it's really important that, you know, we're going off the beaten path in Italy, which is a really nice thing.
It is. It's important because Italy can be so overrun. And even in the places where we go, that a lot of people go, like Rome, we go places the hotel we stay at, you would never find.
And it's fabulous.
It's a fabulous hotel.
It is.
And it's in a hidden little place. So we try to do things that people wouldn't do otherwise. So we wanted to let you guys know that if you were thinking about booking on any of those things for the spring, please do so ASAP, because we need to send in the final confirmations for those hotels like within the next few days. But we wanted to give you a little preview of 2024. And I wanted to preface that by saying, just remember, the people who get to book 2024 tours first are my Patreon people. Because Patreon, I just cannot stress to you enough how much that saves my bacon all the time. It pays my mortgage every month, and it's really important, and I really appreciate everybody who supports me on Patreon. If you will never travel with me, but you love my content, getting onto Patreon and just doing like the minimum of just like $5 a month is an amazing help so that we can continue to focus on providing you guys with really cool travel content. So, but here's the benefit. If you are a Patreon supporter, you get first pass at our tours. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to do a Thailand presentation in the next few days. And that's when I'm going to open up registration for the Thailand tours. And that's going to be specifically for people who are Patreon supporters. And, but Lisa and I are talking about 2024. So 2024 tours are going to be available in mid-March. We're going to have a new launch. This is so many exciting things. We're going to have a new website, brand new website for Adventures with Sarah that's going to be more interactive. It's going to have more information on it. And we're going to launch that at the same time as we launch our new tours. And it's very exciting. And Lisa and I were talking about what do we want to do in 2024. So I thought I'd give you, number one, I'm going to kick off the year with Thai Islands. I'm probably going to do a standalone. Oh, please come. It'll be really fun. Nico's going to come. There's going to be a standalone Egypt tour. That's going to be a revamped Egypt itinerary, a standalone Jordan tour, most likely. There might be India in there again. But then when we turn our eyes to Italy,
we're going to go to Sardinia.
We're going to go to Sardinia. I know. Everybody's been talking about that and asking about it. So something I wanted to tell you about that is that every year when we launch our Patreon tours, we always have something that we call the Trust Me Tour. We're actually calling it, we changed the name from Trust Me to Vintner Select. Because when winemakers make wine, they always save the best wine for themselves, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Vintner Select is our family fun at the end of the year, where me and Lisa and Andrew, we all kind of do something together that's fun, where it's like almost like a retreat, but we have a good time. We try a new itinerary. This year it's Emilia-Romagna and then sailing to Rhodes with Thailand. So we have 2 of them this year. Next year, one of our Vintner Select is going to be me and Lisa in Sardinia.
It's going to be wonderful.
And you went recently, right?
I went to just visit a friend in Olbia not very long ago. In November, we actually had a beach day at the beginning of November. Can you imagine? Not super hot, but we went in the water, had a picnic on the beach. It was amazing. And this one beach, it looks like the beaches of Tahiti. The water is so blue, the sand so clean, and of course off season. It was really lovely, not crowded. So
yeah, so we're thinking early October. So we don't have any plans beyond that. It'll probably be 9-ish days, something like that. We don't know the price yet. And it may just be, it's going to be one of those tours that you're going to sign up with, and it's going to have no itinerary. All you're going to know is where you fly into and where you fly out of, and that's
maybe a rough itinerary, but not very far in advance.
No, because we're going to have to go do some research.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that sucks. We're going to have to go swim in all the different places in Sardinia.
Lots of archaeological sites that I can't wait to check out. Maybe a winery or 2.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. That's rough stuff.
And we have to learn how to make pan gutio and pan curacao.
Oh, what's that?
There are these lovely, really thin, crispy flatbreads that are made in Sardinia. See?
Not bad. So now you can hear that we have some plans. You're probably going to be bringing Piedmont back in 2024.
Absolutely.
And we probably will have some other things. I'm hoping to get Lisa to run our Emilia-Romagna tour or something like that. I might even send Lisa somewhere interesting and different, like, I don't know, Morocco or something.
I would love that.
So Lisa's going to turn up in places you wouldn't expect her next year. But this is just your friendly reminder that if you were thinking about traveling with us this year, whether that's the Africa tour that I'm doing, Sicily, Italy, you need to book soon. The fall, it's time. The fall tours, especially like this fall Sicily tours, are filling up pretty quick in the last few days. So please get on it if you decide you want to travel with us, because we would love to know sooner rather than later.
Makes it easier for us to plan a great trip.
It does. And I know everybody's been asking about 2024. When will we hear about it? There will be a Patreon meeting in March where we will launch at least part of our schedule. We'll try to get as much up as we can.
Get organized.
Yeah. And Patreon people, as always, will have the first crack at those for about 2 weeks, and then we'll open it up to everybody else. So if you don't support me on Patreon, go to patreon.com/adventures with Sarah, and you can join for like $5 a month. And I know that doesn't sound like much money, but it is a big difference when a lot of people do that. It makes me able to focus on providing you guys with great writing and content and a new website, and all that money's going back into making Adventures with Sarah cooler.
The Italians say tutto fa.
Tutto fa.
Tutto fa. It means it all comes together. Even just a little bit helps a lot.
It does.
Absolutely. It all adds up.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of new cool things. So I hope that that's stuff that you guys are really enjoying. I know that you loved all the things from that we did in Thailand. So Rome, we're going to do things. And actually, Lisa will be in Venice the same time I'm in Rome.
Yes, I will.
And I'm hoping you're going to do some posts and broadcasts. And
yes,
things.
I will.
Yeah, so Lisa is here as part of the team. And I just want you also to know that, as I said earlier, if you travel with her, you might actually like traveling with her more than me. It's true.
She's going to make me blush.
Anything else we want to share with people?
No, just I hope the year is going well. My year's off to a good start. I think your year's off to a good start. And we hope to see you somewhere on the road.
Yeah.
In 2023.
2023, which is going to be an Italy year. I'm going to be in Italy a lot.
And this spring it's looking good.
Yeah, this is going to be a great year to travel. So I know a lot of you are kind of sitting on your thumbs thinking about traveling and maybe you haven't made your plans, but it's just a gentle reminder. Please do that sooner rather than later. We haven't had reservations rolling in and I'm like, oh no, call the hotels.
It's hard to make decisions sometimes.
I know it is.
Big decisions.
There's too many good things to pick from.
I know.
Yeah.
Too many choices, but our choices are good choices, so.
They are good choices. So anyway, so Lisa's going home and I just wanted to take this last opportunity to thank her for all of her fantastic work. Everybody who's gone on her tours raves about them, which, I mean, I knew that.
And thank you for making it possible for me because this has allowed me to realize some of the dreams that I wanted to do, the places that I wanted to take people, which are often, some of my favorite places.
But also things that maybe people didn't know they wanted to see.
Yes, because they're places that are kind of off the beaten path. They are local favorites, maybe. Things that the locals would go and see, but you would never find it in a guidebook.
Yeah, and to kind of finish up and wrap it all up, I just wanted to tell you a long-winded story because, that's kind of what I do. So Lisa and I started working at Rick Steves together more than 20 years ago. And the reason we ended up being friends was that a mutual friend of ours told me that she was going to Yellowstone.
Yes. Oh my God, that's right.
Isn't that
Yellowstone
funny?
Together.
We
that
did.
was so much fun.
So I knew her. Like we were acquaintances, and I'd held her first baby, Filippo, when he was born.
My giant.
But we didn't like hang out a lot. So this mutual friend of ours, I was telling her, "Oh, I'm going to go to Yellowstone with my family this summer," and she goes, "Oh, you should call Lisa because she's going too." And I said, "Cool, okay." So I called her and I said, "Oh, we're going to go. Maybe our dates will coordinate. Maybe we can have dinner or something like that." And she's like, "Oh, actually."
I rented this mega house.
I rented a mega house and we actually have enough room. We have a whole bedroom available if you want to bring your family and you guys can come and stay and there's going to be tons of kids. So I said, okay. So we just coordinated because I hadn't planned anything yet. And so we went and we stayed with how many Italians? 20?
I think that at least 15. Well, it was my husband's extended family. So it was the cousins and oh my goodness. It was all his cousins plus a couple of friends. Yeah. And we had a really great mix of Italians and Americans, and my dad came and my brother came and the kids, and it was a dinosaur camp that we sent our kids to do an excavation.
I forgot
do you remember
about that? Yeah.
But our oldest kids went, and you and I stayed back and went fishing with Mauro. Actually, he went fishing and we played in the sand along the river with.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, no, that was when our kids were little. Nico and her son Emmy are almost identically the same age. I remember when we were pregnant and we met in the Hotel Aberdeen and bumped our bellies together. Yeah. So our kids are the same age, and we went on this trip with all these Italians to Yellowstone, which was objectively hilarious.
It was so funny the night that the kids they had taken a shower. I remember my nieces had come out with like dripping wet hair and bare feet, and the Italians are all there putting on their sweaters. It was not cold, but it wasn't. I mean,
it was hot.
It was. Yeah, no, it was hot. And they're like, "Oh my God, they're going to catch pneumonia."
Oh, I learned so much Italian trivia, and that that if you let kids like play in ankle deep water after they've had lunch, all of the Italian moms will shame you. They will shame you.
They will.
They will. So
my son Filippo had a friend whose mother, when the kids were little, would not let them take a bath. I mean, would not bathe them in any way, shape, or form within 3 hours of having eaten any meal. I was like, when do you
ever bathe them? Then you can't ever bathe a child. They've always eaten within 3 hours. Wow. So this is how we ended up being friends, because she and I cooked and took care of her Italian family for a week or whatever it was, and it was really super funny.
Do you remember the American coffee, but they made it into espresso, essentially? That was so funny with the drip coffee pot.
Oh, that was so funny. I just remember when we made a Mexican feast for your Italian relatives. And we worked all day on this Mexican food. And I know how to cook Mexican, and so do you. And we had this nice spread with enchiladas and all kinds of things. It was so stinking funny because we sat down to eat, and I heard one of her husband's relatives, whisper to his wife, "Could you please go in the kitchen and make me some pasta?" And I was like, "Are you kidding?" We just cooked for 5 hours.
It took a long time.
Yeah, they took one bite and they're like, "No, thank you."
That was the trip where we made the risotto too. You got there that night. Do you remember? We were going through Yellowstone on the way to this house, and we actually found giant porcini mushrooms, which we didn't know if we could pick or not. I later found out from a park ranger that we could. And so they smuggled them out. So we had these beautiful porcini mushrooms. They were, gorgeous like this, and we're thinking, well, we'll just make a little risotto. And we went to, I think the only store in town was a Walmart. We couldn't find arborio rice. It was the Walmart.
Yep.
And it was really high elevation, and I've never really cooked in high elevation, and we were like cooking this rice, trying to get it to be not crunchy. I think we probably cooked it for a good solid hour, trying to make this risotto, adding more broth, and we finally just gave up and ate it really crunchy. I don't know why it wouldn't cook. Somebody needs to give me high elevation cooking classes.
Yeah, and I remember anyway. We had a number of cooking fails on that particular trip.
We probably had Kraft, or I don't even remember if we got Parmesan cheese of any.
Yeah, I don't think. No, we found the shaker can of Parmesan cheese,
exactly.
which the Italians were horrified by.
Cellulose.
Yeah, they were horrified by a lot of things, and we took them to a rodeo. That was really funny.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. And we took big Italian flags and we waved the Italian flags from the stands. It was really funny. But on that trip, we became good friends, and our kids became good friends, and that was really
the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
And so the reason I digress and tell you a long story is because after that, I used to go to Lisa's house in between tours. So I'd go for 2 or 3 days or a week or whatever I had, and I'd stay in her guest room and hang out with the kids. And
you have an Easter with us.
I came for Easter, yeah. And like her son Emmy was like my substitute Nico, so I got my baby snuggles in. But when I would visit, we would go and do all these super fun things. We went to Racconigi once. We would go and just explore her area, and we kept saying, wouldn't it be fun if we could... It'd be fun to do a tour here, because there's no tourist. No tourist goes to Piedmont. Piedmont is just not a place people think to go. And we kept thinking, wouldn't that be fun? And so, yeah. So now that we have our own business, sure, let's do it.
Because all the tourists they only go to the wine country during a really concentrated season. Yeah. And that's it. And Torino is the most underappreciated city in Italy.
Yeah, it
Honestly,
is. I agree.
It's gorgeous.
The Egyptian Museum is one of the best in the world.
It is the second best Egyptian collection in the world.
Yep.
The first being in Cairo.
Yeah, which is a hot mess right now. So actually, probably better to see the one in Torino, because the one in Cairo is a hot mess. Anyway, so that's just a long-winded way of telling you that we've been thinking about doing fun tours together for a long, long time, and we're super happy that we can actually do that now.
Exactly.
So if you're thinking about traveling with us, please book sooner rather than later. And if you're thinking about 2024, I promise you, we are thinking about it. We are working on it. And we hope to have that out and ready for you in the middle of March, along with the launch of my new website, which is beautiful, by the way.
I haven't seen it yet. You're going to have to show it to me.
Oh, it's really cool. It's very, it doesn't look as homemade as the current one.
No.
The current
one looks fine.
It's pretty homemade.
But it's, better.
It'll
New and improved.
It'll be more professional, but not losing the genuine character of Adventures with Sarah that you guys like, which is my shoddy camera work. People love my shoddy camera work, it turns out.
Yeah, but it's genuine.
Yeah, I know. So
comes from a good place.
We are what you see.
Very plain.
Exactly. Well, cheers to our adventures in Italy this year.
Ci vediamo in Italia.
Ci vediamo, speriamo, e per favore, really quickly, if you want to come with us, you better book soon. We'll speak in English, so you know what we're saying.
Yes,
I can't wait to speak Italian again. It's been too long.
Kind of out of it.
I was out of the loop for too long. I'm going to be going back, and I'll be...
Oh, it'll all come back. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
It will be.
Anyway, so there you go. And I will be back this week, I hope, with a couple of fun online presentations. I want to show you guys a little bit more about some of our upcoming tours. And I might do an Ask Me Anything before I leave for Italy, which is always good fun. So thank you, Lisa, for coming and visiting me today.
We're going to go make dinner now.
We are going to go make dinner. And thanks for everybody for joining us. And we will see you later this week.
Salute.
Salute.